Hey guys, welcome back to Beard Grain. I'm Josh, and today I'm going to be doing a quick walk through my current workout routine, my diet, and the supplements that I'm using. I do want to quickly say this is a response video to a comment from a longtime follower, Big C. Nice to see you. He followed me over from TikTok to YouTube, so super happy to have him here. And also, I want to mention that I'm not a dietitian or a nutritionist or a supplement person. I'm not a body chemist. I'm not a physical trainer or anything like that. I'm just a person who's done a bunch of research and decided what I think is going to work for me, and sort of tried this and tried that, and this didn't work, so I removed it and I added this. And now I've gotten to a point where I feel like I have a really good routine set up for myself, and the only thing I need to work on is consistency. Because when I use this diet and I use this workout routine and I take these supplements and I do that for 3 or 4 days in a row, I feel great. Everything seems to be clicking, the gears are turning, I'm happy with how everything's going. And then I go off of that and I like order a whole pizza and I eat that in one night and I drink a bunch of soda, and then my water intake is terrible and I don't feel like going to the gym, and I wake up late and I don't drink my protein, I miss my supplements, and it takes me like a week to get back on track. So if I can just get the consistency down, what I have set up here is working great for me. I got to nail down that consistency. So let's start off with the workout routine, right? I am using a Mike Mentzer system. If you don't know who Mike Mentzer is, he's a IFBB Mr. Olympia champion from back in the day, like 70s, 80s. In the 90s, he got really into sort of trying to change the way that body physicians or body athletes, body weightlifters and body competitors sort of worked out, changed the mindset of this sort of like, you need to do 5 sets of 20 reps and, you know, hyper focus on all these individual muscles and stuff like that. There's a time and a place for that. But for the most part, if you're just trying to add a massive amount of muscle to your body, not quite chisel it down to tone, but build it up, the fastest way to do that, he found, and sort of studied on many other athletes and proved, was to do a massive amount of impactful weightlifting and then take a large period of time off. Some people think of this as HIIT weightlifting, HIIT, high intensity interval training. I think of that more for like cardio and aerobics. I don't necessarily think that that term applies to weightlifting, but I guess you could think of it that way if you want. But his idea was basically this: we're gonna pick a couple of large muscle groups on your body, like your chest and your back, or your legs, or all of your arms and your shoulders. And we're going to completely destroy those inside of 45 minutes. And then you're not gonna do anything for 3 or 4 days. You're just going to stay at home and rest or do whatever minimal activity that you need to. You're not going back to the gym for 3 or 4 days. And then when you come back, we're going to switch to another major muscle group. Like if we did chest and back, now we're going to do legs. And inside of 45 minutes, we are going to completely destroy those. And then you're going to go home. You're going to take 3 to 4 days off. And you do this sort of moving around the body, one major muscle group to the next, and you just keep repeating that. Now, to some people, 3 to 4 days off seems like way too much time, or, oh, only 45 minutes. You can't get anything done inside of 45 minutes. You're wrong, and you're doing it wrong, arguably, because if you give this a try, you'll see that you can actually make way more progress and get your body like way more beaten down, and therefore allow it to build itself back up inside of 45 minutes, more so than you could inside of 2 or 3 hours. If you're at the gym 2 or 3 hours, it probably means you're doing too much and not enough at the same time, which is interesting, but I'll get into that.
I would like to make a very important point here. This program is designed for the exclusive purpose of marshaling all of your body's energy and resources onto the side of maximum growth in your major muscle groups. Any exercise you might add beyond what is listed here will merely subtract from maximum growth in the major muscle group.
So Mike Mentzer has several sort of seminars that he released in the 90s on YouTube that you can go and look up, and he breaks down exactly what these different routines are, why they work. There's even some video sort of seminars or training videos where he goes through all of the different workouts with professionals, and you get to see how he has them do them, sort of the pacing, the timing, the methods that he has them follows. I've done that, and I've broken all of that down into a personal system that I'm using, which is almost identical to what he teaches with a slight modification. The idea with his exercises is that if you are a real athlete and you've practiced this type of extreme lifting, you can drive your body to absolute failure on a muscle group, like collapsing to the ground failure. Not quite blacking out, that's probably not safe, but like you have nothing left in the tank. And that takes mental strength as well as physical strength. You need to be physically and mentally comfortable driving yourself to the point where you essentially collapse. Like your arms just fall off the sides of your body, your legs buckle underneath you. If you're not in the mindset, or like the trained mindset to be able to do that, you can't quite push yourself to that level. And if you can't do that, you're probably not achieving the amount of stress on your body that requires 3 or 4 days off. Or if you're not quite strong enough to lift a ton of weight, you're probably not driving your body to that level of stress that needs you to take 3 or 4 days off between exercise routines or between workout days. So right now I'm doing every other day or maybe every 2 days. But as soon as I start to feel that wear and tear on my body after a workout where I feel like I really did hammer everything down to the point where I need 3 or 4 days off, I'm happy to take it. Right now, I don't have the strength to even work out that hard. I don't have the mental capacity to push myself that hard. I try, but I'm not quite there yet. So right now I feel like a day or 2 off in between exercises is working. Other than that, here's the routine that he recommends online, almost word for word. It starts out with a superset. The way his supersets work is you're always going to warm up on the second machine. He does a lot of machines and a lot of cable systems because it's very dangerous to do like a barbell squat to absolute failure with a ton of weight on your back. Even if you have spotters, even if you have safety bars out, it's a little too dangerous to do big, heavy, full body lifts like that to absolute dropping to the ground failure one after another, night after night. So he does a lot of machines and a lot of cable systems, but you'll see that the routines that he uses makes it even more difficult to use those than it would be free weights. And in a lot of these cases, if you follow this system, you're not going to be able to lift as much weight as you think you can. Right now, like if you can incline bench press 150, 200 pounds, you're going to be doing it with like 75, 80, 90 pounds using this system. And you're going to be going to failure so much more aggressively than you would if you were lifting all that additional weight because of the methods that he uses. So anyways, getting into the specifics of the routine, and then I'll get into the actual exercises, just so you know, so that way I don't have to repeat this. All of your exercises, all of these exercises every day, every exercise is going to be as many reps as you can to absolute failure, absolute dropping to the ground failure, dead, gasping for breath, drenched in sweat, red in the face failure. And you're going to be using on every single exercise a 4-second cadence. So say, for example, it's a bench press. If I was on my back right now, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 seconds out, 4 seconds back, always the whole time. Doesn't matter if you're warming up, doesn't matter if you're doing your actual lift set, doesn't matter if legs, arms, back, doesn't matter. 4 seconds out, 4 seconds back, or 4 seconds up, 4 seconds down, whatever you have to call it. It's a 4-second cadence, always to absolute failure, with the target of the number of reps that you actually succeeded at being somewhere between 6 and 8, maybe 6 and 10. You can go over than that, you can go under than that. You want to go to absolute failure, but you want to adjust the weight from one week to the next so that that state of absolute failure occurs somewhere between 6 to 10 reps. That's the goal on every exercise. Okay, with the 4-second cadence. Moving into the actual exercises. So first day for me, Sunday, chest and back. The first exercise you do is a superset between pec deck and incline bench machine. Now, pec deck is not pec fly. It's not chest fly. It's not this one with your arms out that you're bringing all the way out here. It's the one where your arms are actually at a 45-degree angle. There's a pad on your forearm and you're squeezing in with your elbows and pinching the whole center of your chest. That's a pec deck. So because I had that wrong, so I want to make sure you guys don't have that wrong. You probably know better than I do. You're always going to warm up with a superset on the second machine. And your warm-ups are always going to go like this. You're going to take about 25% of what you're going to be lifting, and you're going to do 3 quick reps with that. Still using 4 seconds out, 4 seconds back. So with this incline bench machine, 4 seconds up, 4 seconds down. You're going to do 3 quick reps of that. Then you're going to throw on additional weight, so you're at about 50% of what you're going to lift. 3 quick reps, 4 seconds up, 4 seconds down. Then the same thing, 75%, following the same rules. And then you load up what is going to be your lifting weight, but you don't lift it yet. You go over to the first machine and you do your, in this case, pec deck. There's no warming up on the pec deck. You've already warmed up on the incline bench, and that's the same muscle group. You're then on the pec deck going to set it right to the weight you want to lift and start lifting. 4-second cadence, as always, with the target of hitting absolute failure inside of 6 to 8 reps, maybe 6 to 10 reps. If you have to go more than that, go more than that. Go to absolute failure. If you fail at 4 or 5, great. Absolute failure at 4 or 5 is still absolute failure. Maybe do the same weight next time, next week, or next time you do this exercise this night 1. Or next time if you feel like you need to take a little bit of weight off so you can bump that failure point to somewhere between 6 and 8 reps. So as soon as you fail on the pec deck, you're going to run over to the already set up incline bench machine, and you're going to do your set over there again, hoping to fail somewhere between 6 to 10 reps. Then you can take a rest. We're done with supersets. You can move on to then, after resting, a close grip palm up pull down. So this is going to be standing or sitting somewhere here with a straight bar, close grip, palms down, and you're pulling down like this. So you're pulling sort of from above your head to straight down to your chest, or maybe the top of your stomach if you can. Always 4-second cadence, always hoping to hit absolute failure between 6 to 10 reps, but absolute failure wherever it happens. Then you can take another quick rest, or however long you need to rest, and you're going to go do a regular deadlift set. Now, with the closed grip palm up pull downs and the deadlift, because you haven't warmed up those muscle groups, you're going to do the same type of warm up sets. One at 25%, one at 50%, one at 75%, always about 3 reps, always using the same 4-second cadence. That regular deadlift, not a straight leg deadlift. If you can't do a regular deadlift, you can do shrugs. That's sort of the alternate that he recommends there, because he said he knows a lot of people have issues with the deadlift. It can be very bad for your back. If you already have a bad back, it can be nearly impossible. That's your first night. You've got the superset of pec deck with incline bench machine, you've got the close grip palm up pull down, and you've got the regular deadlift. That's the first night, chest and back. Then your second night, which for me is Tuesday, first night was Sunday, is legs. This is going to open with a superset of leg extensions and leg press, not what do you call it? Not hack squat. I don't know why that word completely left my brain. Not hack squat machine, regular leg press machine and leg extensions. Always starting your warm up on the second machine of a superset. So leg press, following the 25, 50, 75 warm up, leaving it at the max weight, not lifting it yet, going over to the leg extension, hitting your leg extensions. You don't need to warm up. You already have. As soon as you fail on that, you're going to go back to the leg press and you go to failure on that. Always 4-second cadence, always looking for failure between 6 and 10 reps, but go until you hit absolute failure. Then you can take a quick pause, or however long of a pause you need, and go over to standing calf raise machine. And you're going to do that for, do your warm up, your 25, 50, 75%, and hope to hit failure somewhere between 6 and 10. I think on this one, he actually allows you to go up to like 15. I don't know if it's because it takes more time to strain that muscle, or because it's a smaller muscle, you want to take a little bit more time pressuring it up. But still, the idea is to get to absolute failure somewhere around 15 or less. With most, it's 6 to 10. I think on this one, he allows for a few more. That is night 2. That is leg night. You have the superset that you open up with, and then you finish with the standing calf raises. Night 3, which for me is Thursday. Again, night off in between, is delts and arms. So this you're actually ending with the superset. You're opening with individual exercises. So first is a lateral raise machine. For me, I think I'm actually going to switch this to lateral dumbbell raises, because the raise machine at my gym is a little tight for me. I'm kind of broad, and it's pinching my shoulders in a bit. They should be out more. And so it forces me to sort of like curl my body in. I can't properly like flex back and lift the way that I should be lifting. And so I'm probably going to switch to regular dumbbell lateral raises, but he recommends opening with a machine if you can. Again, do your warm-up sets and go to failure there. Then you can go over to the reverse pec deck. I actually use the reverse fly because that's what he shows in the video, but he calls it a reverse pec deck. I'm assuming he means reverse fly, since that's what he had the athlete in the video do. But that's where, arms are out, sitting at the machine, pulling out to your side, sort of flexing and pinching your scapula in the back. Same as always, 4 seconds out, 4 seconds back, going to absolute failure. Do your regular warm-up sets before you get started. Then barbell curl with a straight bar, not a curling bar. He specifically says not a curling bar because a curling bar is meant to target individual sections of the bicep and upper arm. And that's not what you're trying to do here. You're trying to target as much of the upper arm simultaneously as possible. So a neutral straight bar grip at roughly shoulder width, or slightly more than shoulder width, is what's going to allow you to do that. So you're going to do your straight bar, barbell curl. I do standing. I think you can do sitting, but I don't. You're not going to use a preacher curl or anything like that. Just regular standing barbell. Now you're moving into the final 2 exercises, which are a superset. This is a tricep press down with a straight bar, not a triangle, not a rope, regular straight bar, and the dips machine. Now he says you can do actual dips if you can, but most people in my situation where I weigh 280 pounds, there's no way I'm doing actual dips at 280 pounds right now, let alone adding weight to myself, like a chain or a plate or something like that. So I'm going to go over to the, I didn't mean to bump that. I'm going to go over to the dips machine, and I'm going to do my regular warm-ups. I'm going to stop just short of doing my actual lift. I'm going to go over to the tricep press down. I do a standing tricep press down with a straight bar, and you're going to go from like eye level, locked elbows at your sides, eye level, down to like your waistline, or torso, thighs, wherever your arms reach. And again, always 4-second cadence, always until failure. Then you run over to the dips machine, same thing, go straight into your lifts because you've already done your warm up and everything. You're already 1 exercise in, and you go to failure. That is night 3. Last night, or last day, is a second legs day. And for me, this is Saturday. It's sort of a modified version of your first legs day. You're actually going to do leg extensions, but a hold, not repeated lifts, supersetted with a barbell squat. So first you're going to go over to the squat rack. You're going to do your 25, 50, 75% warm-ups. You're going to load your final weight, but leave it there. Run back to the leg extension machine. Put 30 pounds on average, more than what you did leg extensions with on your first leg day. And you're just going to do one solid leg extension and hold it there for as long as you can until your body just completely starts to lower down. You're tremoring. You can't hold it up any higher. Fight it the whole way down until it finally releases the weight, and then run over to the barbell and do your barbell squats. At that point, and I'll tell you, if you've never tried this, doing 4-second cadence barbell squats at your 100% weight for this exercise, after doing a held extension, leg extension for as long as you can, and trying to go slowly down, 4 seconds down into an ass to the grass squat, 4 seconds all the way up, it feels like you're gonna die. It's really not fun. And then after that, go ahead and take yourself a rest, and then do one more set just like you did on the first leg night of standing calf raises. And that's the 4th day, and that's all the days. So that's the workout routine. I realized that was a bit in depth, but that's the entire, you could literally take notes and write that down. That's the entire routine, or I could share it with you if you wanted to see it. That's the entire routine. That's the 4 nights. They're supposed to be spread out 3 to 4 nights in between each. Right now I'm doing every other night or every other night, if I can. So that's the workout routine. Moving into diet and supplements, because those kind of go hand in hand, and then we can wrap this video up. I feel like this is going to be a very long video, and I apologize. So moving on to the actual diet, what I'm eating and the supplements that I'm taking, because that's built into the diet. So for breakfast, I'm having 1 scoop of protein. Right now, I'm using this Optimum Nutrition Gold Standard Whey protein. It's 25 grams of protein. I think it's 120 calories, so pretty solid stuff there. 1 scoop of that with 10 ounces of whole milk. I do whole milk for everything because I feel like it has a bunch of natural, healthy fats in it. I don't feel the need to do 2%, 1%. I'm certainly never going to do skim because that's basically creamy water. So 10 ounces of whole milk with the 1 scoop of protein. I also have 1 scoop of Athletic Greens here. These are for gut health and basically just helping me poop. And they do a great job of that. It makes me feel a lot healthier throughout the day, with 10 ounces of water. I also have 2 tablets of Alpha Brain, this right here. Alpha Brain is basically a slow release, smoother, sort of like less edgy caffeine, I've felt. And it helps me focus on my tasks in the morning and get stuff done and feel more productive. And for me, it does really seem to work. I have the 2 tablets of that, which is the standard sort of recommended serving, recommended dose. I also have 25 ounces, or usually more, one of these 45 ounces of Crystal Light, which is just sugar-free flavored water. So I try to get in a bunch of water. So for breakfast, that's a combined 33 grams of protein, something like 250 calories, and a lot of water, probably something like 55 or 60 ounces of water. Then moving on to lunch, I have 1 scoop of BCAAs with the 45 ounce, sorry, I said 1 scoop, it's not 1 scoop, it's 6 scoops of my Amino Energy BCAA and caffeine mix, which is basically the BCAAs that I need to recover, and the caffeine to get me from lunch until my exercise, which is usually at 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. And I mix those 6 scoops into 45 ounces of water in this bottle here, which is a damn near perfect ratio, if you ask me. So moving on from that, sorry, that's not all I eat for lunch. I also have 8 ounces of shredded chicken thighs, which I cook in basically a crock pot with some chicken broth and a bunch of Lawry's seasoning. It's like a sweet and smoky seasoning. Really good. There's a lot of healthy fats in those, good amount of protein. And then 150 grams of white rice, just sticky white rice that I make in a rice cooker. Wash your rice 3 times, guys. If you don't know, you should wash your rice 3 times. Otherwise, you're doing it wrong. And then I have listed here, take creatine pills. It's actually not creatine pills anymore. It's actually this lovely Body Tech straight up creatine monohydrate. So that won't actually say take creatine at that point. Instead, every protein shake or other supplement drink will have a scoop of creatine in it. So my morning protein shake, my nighttime protein shake, and my midday BCAAs will have a scoop of creatine in it. I probably don't need to be taking that much, but from what I understand, you can take kind of as much as you want as long as you're drinking enough water to flush any residual through your system. So I'm taking 3 scoops a day. I'm just a bigger person. I feel like that's going to work better for me. Anywho, so that's lunch. So that's another 60 grams of protein, about 680 calories, and another something like 50, 55 ounces of water. Moving on to dinner, another full shaker of this with just the Crystal Light. So that's another 45 ounces of water there, plus another 8 ounces of the chicken thighs and 150 grams of white rice. So that comes out to another 60 grams of protein, about 680 calories, and another 45 ounces of water. So I'm getting clear into the gallon plus of water daily, which is where I want to be. Then I'll go to the gym, like I said, 9:30, 10 o'clock at night, if I'm going to the gym that night. And then towards the end of the night at bedtime, I'm doing a double scoop of this casein protein, which is raw, I believe it is. Beyond Raw. I'm probably going to stop with the casein protein because I'm still on the fence as to whether or not casein does anything compared to regular protein, and I would rather just buy one protein. Actually, my wife bought the Fruity Pebbles Dymatize ISO 100, and that's a little more expensive, but really delicious and slightly fewer calories. Not that I care about the calories. So I'm actually going to be switching to like a 5-gallon tub or a 5-pound tub of that once I'm done with this and this. But for now, I want to get through those. So that's at night before bed, a double scoop of the casein protein, which is 25 grams of protein each scoop. So that's another 50 with the 10 ounces of whole milk. And then I also add to that 10 ounces of regular tap water just to get more fluid in there, because 10 ounces of whole milk with 2 scoops of protein just is too thick and chunky, and it's just too much. It'd be like drinking a thick like ice cream smoothie. It wouldn't be very downable. So that gets me through the entire day with something like 210, 211 grams of protein, just under 2,000 calories, and around a gallon of water, if not more. So that's kind of perfect. That's exactly what I'm looking for. I realize if I'm trying to bulk up and add a ton of muscle to my system, I should be probably ingesting way more calories than that, considering my size already. But I'm trying to keep it as lean as possible. If I feel like I'm down on energy, or I feel like I can't lift, or I feel like I'm not recovering, I'll add in more calories. I have no problem doing that. And there are plenty of days where I screw up and go off of this anyways, but I mainly want to stick to the supplements. If a meal, instead of being chicken and rice, ends up being like Burger King, that's fine, as long as everything else sort of stays in its place and the whole thing doesn't come unraveled, right? So I'm not so worried about the calories. I'm mostly worried about getting enough protein, getting enough water, and getting all of the supplements in. The stuff that I didn't mention, I talked about the 2 different protein sources here, the whey and the creatine. I talked about my aminos. I talked about the creatine monohydrate. Talked about the Alpha Brain. The only thing I didn't mention here is if I'm going to the gym 30 minutes, or actually it's 10 minutes before I leave for the gym, and then I have like a 25-minute ride to the gym, I take this Pre-Caged, which has been working really well for me. It's a non-stim pre-workout. My wife has actually used it too. I think she likes it. Tastes pretty good, mixes really good. The scoop is gigantic though. I'm not used to pre-workout having such a big scoop. This has like a protein size scoop in it, and you're still only adding it to something like 12 to 16 ounces of water. So there's a lot of that in there, whatever it is. It's like a beta alanine mix. It's all the same stuff, you know? And you get the tingly, the pumpies, like you feel good. So anyways, when I can stick to all of this, when I can stick to the diet, when I get these supplements in, when I go to the gym on my schedule, I feel great, and it feels like it's really working. I need to work on the consistency, but other than that, I feel like I have a winning formula here, and I'm definitely going to try to stick to it and see if I end up getting results. But anyways, yeah, this is everything that I've been doing. I hope you guys aren't absolutely bored to death. If there's any of you still watching this video, thank you for still being here. If anybody wants to see more videos like this, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, set your notification bell to all. Thumbs up this video if you liked it, thumbs down if you think I'm a horrible person. Leave a comment down below. Let me know if you have any opinions on any of this stuff, if you think there's anything about my workout that I should maybe change up, or just your thoughts on what I'm doing. And short of that, I will see you guys in the next one. Have a good day.